than 20 business, faith, labor, consumer, public health, and environmental groups, we have formed this new alliance to advocate for Florida's largest utility companies to invest in clean energy. We are here to change Florida's energy future. This morning, we will hear from speakers who are leaders in their respective fields. They'll talk about why coal is a harmful energy and it belongs in the past. We will hear why clean energy is the only way to go for the environment, for consumers, for health, for communities, and for jobs. To kick us off, let me introduce Kelly Martin, Senior Campaign Director with the Sierra Club. Kelly.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being out here today. I'm so thrilled to be here with you. How is everyone?
Good.
All right. My name is Kelly Martin, and I'm here today representing the Sierra Club's National Beyond Coal campaign, which is facilitating a transition from coal to clean energy in nearly every state in the country. From courtrooms to boardrooms, in the halls of Congress, in the state legislatures, in front of utility regulators, and in parks just like this one, with people just like you, we are advocating for smart solutions to replace outdated, dirty coal plants with solar, wind, and energy efficiency. And so I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm thrilled to be part of the movement in Florida for a clean energy transition. All of us I know came out here for different reasons today, and the thing that motivates me to be out here today is because I am deeply concerned about climate change. Watching the news about the typhoon in the Philippines, we just celebrated, or I guess remembered rather, the anniversary of Superstorm Sandy. From droughts to wildfires out west, extreme weather is on our doorsteps. Climate change is in our communities and here happening now. And we know that burning coal, burning fossil fuels is the largest source of climate disrupting carbon pollution. It is the reason for climate change. And so Duke Energy, as many of you know, operates the Crystal River coal plant, and the oldest units there are Florida's #1 source of toxic mercury pollution. Mercury pollution is especially bad for pregnant women, for young children, and it threatens our health and our environment. The oldest units at Crystal River also violate air quality standards for sulfur dioxide pollution, which cause respiratory problems and trigger asthma attacks. And do we know Duke Energy is going to eventually retire the oldest units at Crystal River? But we don't know is when. And we think that Florida residents don't need 6 more years of air pollution and water pollution from this plant, and that these units should phase out by 2016. All right. And so across the country, coal units are coming offline. This is great news. 152 coal plants have come offline or will in the next couple of years across the country. That's a big deal because phasing out coal plants results in real, measurable changes in carbon reductions, and it results in a cleaner environment, and it opens up the market space for clean energy to come online. Duke Energy is the largest utility in the country. And while it's installed renewable energy in many other of the states where it operates, Duke has virtually no solar power installed in the Sunshine State. And while Duke Energy has been investing in energy efficiency, and customers of Duke's in other states are realizing the benefits both to our environment and to our pocketbooks from energy efficiency savings, they've done less here in Florida than any other of the states where it operates. And so clean energy solutions are here, they're happening now, they're very viable, and they're helping to make our air and water cleaner. The cost of solar power is dropping dramatically, and energy efficiency improvements can generate big savings for our environment, for our wallets. And right here in St. Pete, the Sierra Club's office, I'm not sure if you guys have been there, it's a net zero building, meaning it produces as much energy as it uses. Solar energy holds tremendous promise in the Sunshine State, but it won't happen without Duke Energy's support and without their investment. It won't happen unless people like us advocate for clean air, clean water, and clean energy. We are the last generation of people that can act to slow down climate change. By the time my small children are grown up, our window of opportunity to act to slow down climate change will be closed. And that's why it's so important that you all are out here today. I thank you very much for being out here as we launch the Sunshine State Clean Energy Coalition, and we call on Duke Energy to power this state with clean energy now. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Truly a capitalization of why clean energy is a global issue, a local issue, and an issue for our children and our children's children. Chris. Our next speaker is Tim Heberlein, Political Director of the Florida Consumer Action Network.
Gonna readjust this mic. How's it going, St. Pete? Yeah! How you doing this morning? Great. Beautiful morning. Thank you for coming out. Again, like Julie said, my name is Tim Heberlein. I'm with the Florida Consumer Action Network, and we're very proud to stand with our allies this morning in support for an issue that's incredibly important to the Sunshine State. And we hope that we can count on Duke as being one of our allies sometime. We can bring them to the table and help them usher in, make the Sunshine State live up to its name, right? So hopefully Duke is listening to us, and hopefully they'll come to the table. Our position is simple. Stop polluting the environment with dirty fossil fuels and make a real financial investment in renewable resources like solar. This would have a profound impact for consumers across the state and across the nation. To have Florida lead in solar energy means Florida leads in job creation, which means Florida leads in clean air. Florida leads in sustainability and insulated from the instability of foreign energy sources. Florida can lead, but we're waiting. We're waiting for Duke and other utilities across the state to be the leaders that they need to be to usher in the new energy economy. But they're holding back. And by holding back, they're holding us back. By refusing to increase investment into renewable energy technologies like solar, wind, geothermal, utilities like Duke are denying investors the access to domestic technologies and manufacturing markets that could be based right here in Florida. This resistance to economic growth means that the United States is lagging behind countries like China, Germany, and Norway in the new energy economy. When we invest in renewable energy as part of a comprehensive change to our state and our country's energy portfolio, we create high-tech jobs. We promote policies that strengthen our national security. We develop new vehicles for investment and economic growth. We promote the well-being of our natural resources. And we create real, long-lasting energy independence. So I implore Duke, just personally, I have family in the Philippines. And right now, I don't know where they're at. I still haven't heard from them. And last year, during a COP climate change conference, the delegate from the Philippines made an impassioned plea, which went on deaf ears, unfortunately, that year. And again, the Philippine delegate made the same passion plea this year, that we need to stand up and make change now. And so I will make that impassioned plea to you as well, that this is the time. As we mentioned before, we are the last generation to make this change. If we can't do it now, then I can't think of what will happen to my family in the Philippines, or what happened to this economy and this environment in the United States. So please, if you can get involved, please get involved. Make sure you sign in, make sure you step up and demand that Duke make that investment and be the leader that we need them to be. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim. I think I can speak for everyone here. I say, hold you, family, in our hearts. Next, please welcome Dr. Lynn Ringenberg, Florida Chapter President for Physicians for Social Responsibility, and Lynn will speak to the magnitude of the toll that coal takes on public health.
Thank Thank you so much. And right now I want you all to turn around and look at that beautiful little baby there on Dad's shoulders with the sunglasses. Because that's why we're doing this, okay? That's why we're out here today, and that's why we're demanding that Duke step up. I've practiced medicine for over 30 years in Tampa Bay as a pediatrician, so I'm glad to see some kids out here. But during that time, I've seen a significant decline in the health of our children. It concerned me. And that's why I started this nonprofit, Physicians for Social Responsibility Florida, with our national office in D.C., and am very proud to join Julia and the others in the Sunshine State Clean Energy Coalition. But what I watched over 30 years of practice was increasing in the number of kids with asthma and also the severity of the asthma. Kids with developmental problems, kids with learning disabilities, all these increased numbers. Kids with autism, I didn't see that 30 years ago in practice, rarely. Kids with increasing behavioral problems. And I think all of these related to some effect of the environment. Coal pollution, whether it comes out of the top or it's in the coal ash, which contains the most toxic chemicals on the planet Earth, the most toxic heavy metals, lead, cadmium, mercury, terrible stuff. You can't clean it up. It affects every major organ system of the body. So we see increase in heart disease in children and adults. Sometimes in children, they have a period of time before it shows itself. As with cancers, it may take 5 to 70 years for cancer to show up. Increase in stroke and other neurologic problems. We see an increase in pulmonary disease. We've mentioned asthma, COPD, and others. So it's really imperative that we get off of fossil fuel. And that means closing first the dirtiest coal-fired power plants, and that's Crystal River, and not building natural gas plants. Natural gas is a fossil fuel, folks, so we need to get off of fossil fuels, and we need to go to clean energy. And I think everyone here, most likely, is a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a brother, sister, or at least knows a kid. If you don't know a kid, go meet that one back there, okay? He's willing to meet with you guys and tell you we have got to clean this mess up. And I am sure that the Duke leadership, they have their parents, I'm sure, and grandparents, and have, young children. So they really have the power and the authority to do something about this. So we need to leave a legacy for our children and their children and the world's children of a clean, safe planet. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ringenberg. Thank you for remarks. Thank you all for PSR's. Next, we will hear from Rick Smith, who is a true leader in the community. Rick serves as Chief of Staff for SEIU, Florida Public Service Commission. Please invite Rick to come to the podium.
Good morning, brothers and sisters.
Good morning.
All right, I'm not here to this morning to make the scientific or intellectual argument as to why we as a people have to demand that Duke transition from dirty fuels to clean, renewable energy. Other speakers have eloquently made that point and will. I want to get to the nut. I want to get to the core. The reality situation is that regular folks like us, all of us, have this gnawing feeling in our guts that something is wrong. And it's hitting us from all sides. We've got an economy that can't seem to recover. We have growing inequality, which threatens our entire social structure. And we have this deep anxiety that our air, our water, even our weather is changing, and it's threatening to overwhelm us. Systems seem to be broken. Institutions we once trusted no longer seem to function. And it's enough to almost paralyze us into thinking about what to do. And that's always the question, what to do. Well, we all make choices. You can go to the grocery store today and choose from 150 kinds of cereal. You can turn on your TV and you can choose 300 channels to watch. But when it comes to clean water and air and a planet that can sustain life, these guys, the Duke Energies of the world, would have you choosing from very limited options, and it goes like this. You can have jobs, but not a healthy environment, at least not now. You can keep your lights on and your air conditioners running, but only on our terms and at our prices. You can have economic growth, but only if you stop worrying about sea level rise and all that silly science about climate change. That, my friends, is the oldest game in the world. Divide by limiting our choices and conquering. So, the unemployed mother with kids who just had her food stamps cut has limited options, even only one: find work anywhere. Meanwhile, her kids are suffering from respiratory illness and asthma from the sulfur dioxide of Duke's coal plant. That is not a choice. The homeowner that's underwater on the mortgage and facing foreclosure can only concentrate on picking up the pieces of their life while knowing that 40 years down the road, their house and their neighbors' houses may be literally underwater from rising seas caused by climate change. Is that a choice?
No!
I suggest we broaden our choices. I suggest the environment, the economy, and social equity are all linked. I suggest that we never, never, never compromise on the environment or the economy or equality. You know, it sounds trite and it sounds like a cliche, but it's true. We really are all in this together. All races, all classes, no matter what your political affiliation. There's hope there too. That is the new majority. People who want economic opportunity for all and a beautiful and healthy planet. So we all have a choice today to make. You got a choice to make. Take those petitions. Talk to your friends and neighbors. Hold block parties. Hold house parties. Do whatever you can to bring people together. Because in the end, that's the only reasonable choice that we have to make. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. I don't think anybody can say it better than Rick. Jobs are the future. Well, I'm very pleased and honored to introduce the next gentleman. Bill Young is the Executive Director of the Florida Renewable Energy Association. And it is really wonderful that FREA has joined the coalition. The coalition continues to grow, but FREA brings a whole new voice and a whole new breath. So let me introduce Bill.
Welcome to this event. It is my pleasure for the Florida Renewable Energy Association to join the Sunshine State Clean Energy Coalition. I am Bill Young, Executive Director of the Florida Renewable Energy Association, known as FREA, F-R-E-A. In our view, the coalition's purpose is to conduct an advocacy campaign in a constructive way and aims to bring about amenable change to popular demand using petitions. The coalition is inclusive. It enables collaboration among diverse advocacy groups in order to accomplish its goals. This is how free societies do the best work, and we are delighted to be part of it. FREA is a Florida chapter of the American Solar Energy Society, and is a grassroots organization for environment and energy. We are advocates for the complete replacement of non-renewable energy sources such as coal and nuke, and renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and ocean to replace them. Petitioning for the rapid shutdown of coal plants, in particular starting with the dirtiest one first, is right up our alley. There are many harmful waste products from coal plants. The worst of these is carbon dioxide, which is innocent because it is not seen and is odorless and colorless. But carbon dioxide is the worst waste product of them all because it is responsible for climate change that threatens to flood Florida with ocean waters due to the major sea rise. However, how can we continue to pour millions of metric tons of carbon dioxide into the air every year, knowing what it is called? Even worse, we already have an alternative energy source, renewable energy, that are available for full deployment. If only we would put our efforts to that. So yes, we want the Crystal River coal plant to be shut down right away. And we want the others to follow in a timely manner that is possible. We want many utilities like Duke Energy to change their business plan so that they become and be sustainable for themselves by providing new services that allow them to maintain their profits that they depend on for their customer service and more electricity instead of selling more and more electricity. We congratulate those who formed this coalition and intend to provide support for the members and by our members and our friends so that collectively we can have this petition campaign be a huge success. Once again, it is a privilege for me to speak at this event, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Well, I'm really pleased to introduce our next speaker. Rosemary Greba is one of the most fiery activists I've ever met. I'm so pleased that she came all the way from Brooksville this morning to join us. Rosemary.
Good morning! How is everyone? You fired up? Yeah. Okay, I have a plea. My plea is to Duke Energy. Oklahoma, Texas, Iowa, South Dakota, New Jersey, California. What do they all have in common? Solar. They are all converting to clean energy sources. Yeah. What does Florida have? We have more sun, we have more water, and we have more wind. So why aren't we a clean energy state? Now is the moment for Duke Energy to commit to leading Florida into the future. This is the time to embrace clean, sustainable sources of energy in Florida and to show America there is a way beyond the pollution of petrochemicals. Now is the time to create Florida jobs in the clean energy field, to clean up Florida air and water from the pollutants of mercury and the other toxins that Doctor talked about. These pollutants are disabling Florida citizens and contributing to chronic asthma and many, many other respiratory difficulties and learning problems. Now is the time to abandon dirty technologies that are dying and to embrace tomorrow. Clean air, clean water, clean, sustainable energy for all Floridians. Duke Energy, lead the way!
Marie! Thank God she's on our side. Now please welcome Andy Bell, a dear friend, Executive Director of Sunshine State Interfaith Power and Light. Andy.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I cannot tell you how excited I am to stand here and see all of these faces. Guys, look around. Look at each other. Many of you have heard the writing from the Hopi elders that says, "We are the ones we have been waiting for." We are. This is amazing. I'm clergy.
He's freezing, I'm cold.
I am with Sunshine State Interfaith Power and Light. I'm also a psychotherapist. In my office, I deal with so much of the pain that people are dealing with because of what's happening in the economy and in the environment. They are linked. As excited as I am to be here, I am also keenly aware that a lot of the motivation that brings many of us here today is we are afraid for our children's future, and we are sad for the damage, the loss, the devastation that we continue to inflict on this blessed, amazing planet. I was born in a time when there was a saying that was pretty common. Some of you may have heard it. And it goes like this: you do the right thing because It's the right thing to do. Imagine that. And I was also taught that part of the right thing to do is to be grateful. So I want to begin by saying to Duke Energy, to Lynn Good, the CEO of Duke, to Alex Glenn, the president of Duke Energy Florida, to all of the workers in the Duke building right here in downtown St. Pete, all of the men and women who drive the truck, who keep our power on so we can have light, so we can have electricity and air conditioning here in this walking sauna we call the summer of Central Florida. Okay, not this morning. But if it weren't for them, you know, how many of us would have lights in our homes? So I am grateful for them. And because we are all brothers and sisters, because we are all citizens together, I call on our brothers and sisters at Duke to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. It's not that hard. You know, at home, we have solar panels on our roof. We do. And we produce a lot more electricity than we actually consume. And I get it, not everybody at this moment has that option. Not everybody can put solar panels on their house, on their apartment, on their office building. Not yet. So we need the utilities. We do. But we need them to do the right thing. We need them to be good neighbors. We need them to work with us. And I can't help but think of politicians that many of us have heard them say, I want to do the right thing, but you have to make me do it. We are the ones who are here to call on Duke to do the right thing, to be good neighbors, to produce energy, to provide electricity that is clean, sustainable, renewable, and will never again hurt another